The doctor told me I had bladder cancer, and I was shocked. I was stunned. I didn't even know how to react. I was alone at the doctor's office because I ran on my lunch hour. And then they did the biopsy and told me, and I had my mom and my best friend Diane with me. And when I looked at the computer in the office, sitting there, and I saw my name on the computer and it said malignant. And I asked, is that me on there? And he said, that's you. I said, that's not good. And he said, no, it's not. And he started to explain it to me. And I had Diane and my mom come in with me. And it was awful. You know, I never heard of it, and I had bladder cancer. And then he said to me, well, you have 2 forms of bladder cancer. One's aggressive and one's very aggressive. Well, lucky me. So we just decided, you know, my mom and my best friend, we're just going to deal with it. Because once you know, for me, once I know what I have to deal with, it's easier. Not knowing is scary. I travel a lot with work, although I'm trying to cut down based on my new life. My father lives with me. He's 91 this Sunday. So taking care of my dad and my husband at home, lots of nieces and nephews, lots of friends, lots of travel from work. My life at work, my history at work has been travel. I do a lot of award shows, auto shows, big conferences, small conferences. So it's been exciting, never dull. I've got to meet amazing people throughout my career, celebrities, presidents, United States, Secret Service, from musicians to everybody. So I've lived extremely full and adventurous life. I chose to go with the Indiana pouch because I am very active. I love to swim. I wanted to continue to work and travel. And for me, that seemed the best option for me because the Indiana pouch, he took numerous inches of my intestine and made a bladder out of my own intestines and sewed them up into a ball and put a stoma, piece of that intestine, to the bladder, to a hole in my abdomen. So I catheterized through a hole in my abdomen every 5 hours or so, every day, every week, every month, the rest of my life. From the very beginning, I named it Stella the Stoma. Because for me, Stella got her groove back, and I just knew I would too. And it sounded like it'd be easier for people to relate to and help me with. And it made other people more comfortable than saying, yeah, I got this stoma, I gotta go, catheterize and drain. So I just say I gotta take care of Stella. So I have Stella everywhere I go. I call my bag, my medical bag that I carry everywhere. It's something that's part of me now. It's me and Stella. Pretty much everything in there got moved around and removed. I had 52 staples down my abdomen. I had 13 tubes coming in and out of me everywhere. And if you ask my dad, to this day, he says, yeah, you look like crap when we saw you. But I remember when I was in intensive care and when I finally woke up and saw all my family and everyone there, I remember giving them the thumbs up. Hey, did it. I did it. My recovery process, 2 weeks in the hospital recovering, and it was tough initially because trying to learn how to handle a stoma, I had to go through classes, and so did my friend Diane and my husband had to learn how to flush and aspirate a stoma in order to keep it clean and let it heal, and how to train. And I remember when I went home, I was scared because I didn't have the backup system. I didn't have the hospital there to help me. So it was kind of scary at first, but they were there on the phone anytime I needed them. So that was a learning process. Then while you're recovering at home, they ask that you measure. They give you the tools and sort of a measuring cup to make sure what your intake is versus the outtake, to make sure that bladder is working. And And I would write it down. I have a long journal, write everything down that I was intaking and that would come out into the cup, and how my day was, how I was feeling. So it was a long process, a long recovery. I had a nurse because my wound was very long. I had 52 staples. So I had a nurse that would come to check the open wound and make sure the stoma was working. I had physical therapy helping me with exercises, strength, because my one goal was I needed to get in that swimming pool before it closed in the end of the fall. And that was my goal, and I did it. My best friend, Diane, in my life was my guardian angel through the whole process. I wouldn't have made it without her. She was there every step of the way. She gave me my medication. She cooked. She did laundry. She did stuff to help my husband and me. Because cancer doesn't just affect me. I'm not the only one going through it. I might be the one getting burned my arms from chemo, but it affects everybody around you. My husband, how do you deal with it? What can you do to help? He was lost. And her family, Diane's family, my sister, my brother, and my sister-in-law, my whole family, my friends, they don't know what to do. How do we help? And they feel hopeless. They feel useless. So just being there and knowing Diane was there, they all felt very comfortable. Tammy's in safe hands with Diane. It takes a couple weeks you have to have it right every single time. But to get real comfortable with it probably took a few months just to get comfortable, super comfortable with it. And it's a process. So when you first have the surgery done, and I have an Indiana pouch, when you first have it, you have to drain every hour on the hour. And then you get to 2 hours. So you don't get any sleep initially, but that's short-lived. Then you get to 2.5 hours. After another week, you get to 3 hours. So every week you put a half hour on. And so eventually you're at 4, maybe 5 hours, depending on how much you take in, how much you drink, to when you have to drain. Because the bladder starts out small when they make it, and the intestine will stretch. So the reason you start out with only an hour and then 2 hours, then 2.5 is you're training the bladder. So that's why you have to slowly gain an extra half hour each time. And you train your bladder. And so you finally get up to 4, maybe 5 hours. And that's pretty much where it will stay the rest of your life, 5 or 6 hours, depending on how long. I can go 5 or 6 hours. When I have to take care of Stella, when I have to drain my stoma, basically, I find that to be my peace and quiet time, and not enough of us take that time for ourselves. So it takes 10, 15 minutes, at least, to take care of. And so for me, it's turned into that. It's turned into, okay, I get to breathe, relax, and I have found that that's my little Zen place. My lifestyle now is very more comfortable. I've slowed down. I don't travel as much for work by design because I choose to. I can do everything I want to do. I swim, I travel, I canoe, I do everything I want to do. There's no stopping me. There's no stopping me now. Now it's good. For me, going through all this bladder cancer has been an extreme adventure. I feel very blessed. I feel I was chosen for this, for a reason, to go through all of these life lessons, because I needed to slow down, and I wasn't doing that. I had to be knocked down in order to see what life was all about. So for me, it was a blessing to go through all these life challenges, to figure out me, the people around me, friends, family, work life, and that found out cancer is not a death sentence, it's a life sentence, because it teaches you more about life than anything. It has for me. And it's been a blessing. I just feel I was chosen, and how lucky I am that I got picked to learn all these lessons in life. It wasn't easy. I'm never going to say it was easy, but it sure was a blessing.